utilize Teams in this fashion because there was a lot of very thick documents to accompany the memo I provided. So what was recommended to me in conversation with Sarah of Sweat Law Office was that, you know, if the board is interested in looking at ordinances, especially that have to do with development and some of the really interesting things that some of our neighboring municipalities are looking at that are more forward thinking, for example, to do with electric charging stations for cars, as well as short-term rentals such as Airbnbs. Some really innovative, awesome stuff that I think that the board should consider looking at. What has to happen though is the board has to ask the planning department to look at some of this stuff. And the planning department can then come back to you. So at this point in time, if you're interested in diving into this more, for some things to consider, I recommend the board asks the planning department to dive into the ordinances and review them.
Can we put this on the agenda for as approved tonight? That's my recommendation. Please, anybody start?
I would like to see the vacancy on that planning commission, planning department filled. My concern is that, there's 2 supervisors on the planning commission and 1 citizen member, who does travel a lot. It's gonna come down, I just don't want it to come down to 2 supervisors making suggestions to the board of supervisors about changes in the planning, in the zoning.
It's a recommending body.
We have 1 citizen member, 2 supervisor members, no alternate, and the citizen members misses a lot. Not to any blame, I mean, she's also on the rec board, she does a lot for her community, but she does travel for work, and it's gonna come down to 2 supervisors running a planning commission suggesting to the supervisors for changes in the zoning law. So I'd like to see that alternate at least filled.
I don't think it needs to wait, in my opinion, it could be as an approved deny on the next agenda, and then let the board vote. That's my opinion.
Do you see any issues, Mr. Attorney?
I mean, no, right now it's legally a viable planning department. I'm not sure if you have an alternate at this time.
We do not.
So, again, as always, do you have another interested party that someone wants to recommend to be there? And just because they're an alternate, doesn't mean they can't, and also give public comment at that time. But yeah, to your point, additional voices help. But also to what Rick was asking, it is just a recommending body. So also whatever they recommend, that is for your consideration, but this board makes the ultimate decision, right? So, what comes from the, again, no, I think there's a vacancy in the alternate. I think it helps to have that. It was, Hippocrates has been prior to that. So as she recommended, as this board has done, it makes sense to have him. So I think you should always try and fill those positions. I know, like a lot of towns, there are vacancies in many boards. So yeah, I would recommend that you consider trying to add someone to that.
But MPC wise,
No,
not a
MPC
problem
wise,
that
it's legally set up okay as far as I know. I have nothing to add to that aspect of it, but from just a public perspective, it never makes that voices.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, moving on to item 4,